Okay, guys, I grabbed number, I think it's 23 from the book. And these are actually just the compositions where you're not actually evaluating, so it's not like f of g of 2. It's going to be f of g of f of g of x and things like that. So you're actually going to have to pay attention to your domain as well. So I'm going to, I think the first one is g, oops, maybe not, there we go. G of f of x is the first one, okay? And so basically it just means that we are going to take this and plug it in to the two places that we see the x value in g of x. So it is going to be x over 2x plus 1 all over x over 2x plus 1, okay? And again, g of x is 2 times something plus 1 over that same something. Oh, goofball. Joni. There we go. Don't call me Joni, just call me Miss P. So, when you look at this one, it should be 2. Uh-oh, nope, I'm erasing. Wrong one. 2, there we go. 2 times something plus 1 all over that something. And so now we just kind of have to, oh goodness, we're going to have to simplify. So the first one, I'm just going to multiply by 2 times my x in my numerator and leave it as a 2x over 2x plus 1. Plus this second number right here, this 1, I'm actually going to write it as a 2x plus 1 over a 2x plus 1 so that I can actually combine those. That's all over x over 2x plus 1. Okay? And so ultimately, in your numerator here, you're just going to combine those terms. So I'm going to have a 4x plus 1 over a 2x plus 1. And then here's what's going to end up happening. This fraction right here, we are dividing by a fraction, which means we are multiplying by its reciprocal. So I'm actually just going to flip it. So I'm multiplying by 2x plus 1 over x. Okay? Those are going to cancel. And so my final answer is going to be 4x plus 1 over x. That is my simplified version, okay? But the real thing we have to remember, guys, is that when we're doing this, when I go to find my domain, I do not ever pull from here. You always go back to the original when you're doing your domain. Okay, so when you're looking at your domain, again, you are worried about, because it's a rational, these are both rational functions, you're worried about a couple of things. You are worried about denominators. So this denominator, 2x plus 1, that can't equal 0 because it would make this small fraction over 0. The other thing is this singleton x right here in the numerator, that can't be 0 either. Because if that were 0, then the entire fraction in the denominator, the entire small fraction in the denominator of this whole fraction is also going to be 0 as well. So you've got two things. You can't have x equal to 0, and you cannot have 2x plus 1 equal to 0. So then x cannot equal a negative 1/2. Okay? And so ultimately then, if we do a little number line, I'll do it over here. We've got our 0 here, we got a negative 1/2 here. We're not allowed to be 0, we're not allowed to be negative 1/2, but we can be everything. Are you kidding me? Everything in between. Okay, and everything on either side. So when you go to write this, it's going to be negative infinity to negative 1/2 union negative 1/2 to 0 union 0 to infinity.